We like feeling smart because we know certain facts, but what if I told you that some of the most basic things you learned in school or from your parents are actually completely wrong? We are setting the record straight. Here are the most common facts that are actually total myths. Let's start with the big one. We only use 10% of our brains. It sounds cool, like we have this untapped superpower waiting to be unlocked, but the truth is, we use pretty much all of it. Modern brain imaging shows that even when you are just sitting there or even sleeping, almost every part of your brain is active at some point. There are no silent areas waiting for a pill or a movie plot to wake up them up. You are already using the whole thing. Next up, parents, I'm sorry to do this to you, but sugar does not make kids hyperactive. I know you've seen them at a birthday parties, but dozens of controlled studies have shown that sugar does not actually change behavior. So why do they go wild? It's usually the environment, parties, friends, and excitement. Scientists have even found that if you tell a parent their child just had sugar, the parent is more likely to report hyper behavior even if the kid actually have a placebo. Moving to history, the famous stroke king Napoleon Bonaparte, who used his name to describe short people with big personalities. But here is the kicker, Napoleon was not short, he was about 5 feet and 7 inches for the early 1800s, that was actually slightly above average height. The myth started because of a difference between French and English measurement, and a very successful British propaganda campaign to make him look small and non-threatening. Now, let's talk about goldfish. We have all heard they have a 3 seconds memory, right? That's basically the ultimate insult to their intelligence, but goldfish are actually surprisingly smart. Research shows they can remember things for months. They can learn to navigate maze, they can recognize their owners, and they can even be trained to pull levers for food at specific time of the day. So maybe you watch what you say around the fish tank, they might remember it. And while we are on the subject of iconic looks, Vikings never wore horned helmets. If you went back in time and saw a Viking warrior, his helmet would be plain, smooth, and functional. The horns were actually added by a custom designer for an opera in the 1800s. Real Vikings know that horns on a helmet would be a disaster in a real fight. It just gives your enemy something to grab into. It's crazy how these stories stick around for decades or even centuries just because they sound interesting. Which one of these did you believe the most? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep uncovering the truth together. See you in the next one.